I'm a blind photographer from the UK. I started photography around 2017 and I haven't stopped since.
Is it? Because I know there's trees around because we're walking through plants, trees, but all that's appealing to me from that is just the hard light, the hard shadow, and sort of that light leads you to a tunnel.
Yes.
Even if I don't know what,
yeah,
it just something about it is
it's interesting. Yeah.
I started around 2017 on my smartphone, like most people do. It was sort of when Instagram was really taking off and landscapes were the big thing. So that's what I went with originally, thinking you need to follow the trends. It wasn't long after that I bought my first mirrorless camera, which I soon sold because I didn't know how to use it and I was convinced my iPhone 10 was a lot better. Went back to iPhone photography for a while and then even GoPro photography for a while. I wanted the real wide epic landscape shots. Soon after I realised that it was mirrorless I needed, so I went back to Sony and then I haven't stopped since.
So obviously that's pretty beautiful. And I can hear the birds, so we're going to go shutter speed 1000, f5.6.
Well, in 2017 was right before I started losing my vision. So when I was doing iPhone photography, I had perfect vision, 20/20. I could drive myself to different places to go shoot, so I had the freedom to go wherever. And then it was actually when I bought my first mirrorless camera that I noticed my colour vision faded literally overnight. So I booked myself just a general optician's check, and it was then that I found I was slowly losing my vision. But at the time it wasn't too bad, so I could just carry on as normal. And it wasn't till 3 years later that I was actually registered blind and had to make the decision whether it was something I wanted to pursue or give up before it got too bad. For me, photography was my way of still taking part in the world. No one even had to know I was losing my vision. I could just carry on as normal, do photography for myself. It was a way of expressing myself. And I think that's what art is for a lot of people.
So all I'm looking at there is just basically the triangle of the frame in here. And then I can tell there's something, I can't really tell what,
the building.
but I just know it's something.
Like a building,
So for this, because I can tell there's a foreground and a background, I'm going to go to f8.
Yeah.
Auto,
to get here and...
Yeah, auto ISO.
Yeah.
And then I've just left my focus at infinity again.
Yeah.
Well, obviously the main challenge with photography is most people think you need 20/20 vision, which seems a given. My condition meant I was losing my central vision, which is what you use for detail, for recognising colours, faces, objects. So I had to learn to use my peripheral vision, use my other senses, rely on my wife a lot more, and just basically tune into all of my other senses to put the photograph together. So it become more a lot of trying to capture a feeling rather than a subject. Well, I've actually bought these goggles which replicate my vision as close as possible, apart from the constant flashing, so if you want to put them on and then you can have a go. So although you're not able to see the numbers, you can still feel your settings.
You still have a visual cue, but it's not clear.
Exactly,
So you're just becoming so much more reliant on what you're
hearing and
feeling and absolutely.
Which all ties into just wanting to capture a feeling, I guess.
So obviously you mentioned that you use Fujifilm cameras.
Yeah.
What is it about them specifically that actually help you so much in terms of having a system that actually helps you kind of navigate the camera?
Yeah, so for me, the main thing when looking for a camera is a camera where I don't have to dive deep into menus to get my camera set up the way I like it. As you can see on my Fuji, it's all dials, hard stops, aperture ring, hard stop each end, same with the shutter speed, exposure comp. And I don't have to dive into any menus, that's just set up exactly how I need it to go. And another good thing with Fuji is the built-in film simulations. So I've got two set up right now, one for colour, one for black and white, which I shoot simultaneously. And that's it. I'd say a pretty much perfect camera for me as far as a blind photographer.
So Adam, we've established that Fujifilm, and specifically your X100V, is the camera that's best suited to your needs.
Yeah.
But we've picked a couple of cameras I think you might enjoy.
So.
And that might be well suited to your needs as well. So why don't we go out to your neck of the woods and see how we get on?
Yeah, I'm up for that.
Okay, well, this makes everything quite real now. Can't really see anything. but I trust that everything has been set to what I needed it to. I've been trying to memorize what the position of things are that are maybe not exact stops and hard stops. So we'll see how we get on. So obviously the main difference between my experience right now and yours is that
I'm used to it.
you're used to it, but also you probably see less color than what I'm seeing right now, right?
Them can't replicate colour blindness.
Yeah, of course. In terms of like, when you look at something with a bright light source, everything just goes washed out.
Yeah.
Is that similar to what you experience as well?
Yeah, that's true, yeah. If the sun's facing me, it can get completely washed out.
Right, okay, like loss of contrast and...
Yeah.
Right,
But obviously, like what you're doing now, because you've lost all detail,
yeah.
you're just looking for shape, light, shadow.
Yeah.
Just something that
just
still
captures,
catch your eye,
yeah,
but just in a different way.
in a different way. Like I quite like this, like obviously, I don't know if you can see this, Adam, but like for me, like the yellow is just popping hard, and especially the pink, it's like has this glow, and I don't know if anyone else can see this, but like it just looks like it's just you know.
Caught your eye.
Okay, so right, just make sure the camera's turned on.
Making sure it's all in focus.
Yeah, that's like the biggest thing, you know, and
But obviously now you can't review it to know whether you like it, which is kind of the fun of film.
well, I'm actually, the first thing I'm trying to do is not take the goggles off for anything. So it's like, what happens will happen. Like, you know, if my settings are wrong, then so be it, kind of thing. You know, I want to just be as close to it as possible. But I think the first thing you notice is just how much detail you lose of the world with the goggles on, which obviously is replicating what Adam's vision is like. Obviously, Adam has obviously issues with color as well, whereas with this you don't. Colors do begin to blend into each other. Like the greens, for example, the subtle greens are probably just closer to one color than they are a multitude of colors. But what Adam told us, or told me earlier on, was how much you gravitate towards pockets of light, and that is something that I think I'm experiencing as well. It's like you go towards the light and then you figure out what it might be. But it is challenging. All of that is just talk. After all, you do have to translate all of that to a camera that is an inanimate object that you have to feed it to take photographs. So you are trying to figure out focus, you're trying to figure out exposure compensation for high contrast scenes, and obviously the camera itself, which might not be as good at helping you out as a person with sight problems, as well as Adam's X100V, which I think is obviously the ideal camera for this. Whereas a Leica, it's almost there, but not quite, I think I would say. What technology are manufacturers implementing, or what could they implement to actually make things a lot easier for you?
I think the main one to do with AI would be text-to-speech. On most smartphones nowadays, you actually have features where I can touch anywhere on my screen and it'll read to me what I'm touching.
It changes the way you work your phone. Like it just... Everything's just completely different on it. Like you have to scroll, but you can't just... It doesn't just open when you tap it. You have to confirm it.
So for example, say on a camera menu, if I could move my finger around and I'd know exactly where I am in the menu, that'd be really useful. As far for dials go, hard stops, clicks, just more tactile features basically, which obviously all cameras can do. I use Fujifilm as they already have these features implemented as far as the dials go.
And what about kind of features like within your editing process? Is there anything there that is actually helping you in terms of when you actually upload your images to Lightroom or Photoshop?
Yeah, for sure. On Lightroom, as probably most photographers now, they're implementing a lot of AI features such as subject detection, sky detection, which are all super helpful for me. Because obviously I can select a subject now without having to brush it in finely, without knowing where it is. And I can just isolate my subject, expose it slightly, lift the shadows, drop the highlights, whatever I want to do, with just the click of a button. Okay, I'm going to take my goggles off for the first time in probably like half an hour, I would say. Oh my God. Jesus Christ,
it's like, I mean, I don't know if, like, I'm genuinely shocked, like, how clear everything is. Like, the cold reality of the world. But yeah, it's like incredible. Like, yeah, how much detail you're losing through wearing the goggles, which are replicating kind of Adam's sight.
I share my work mostly on Instagram. At first, I was just getting a few likes, comments, and then when people actually found out I was registered blind, a lot of them couldn't believe it. It also come with a lot of hate. But now I've started to talk about sight loss and photography more. It's come with a lot of positivity, so it's confirmed that I'm definitely doing the right thing. And hopefully I can inspire other people with disabilities, not just vision loss, to do the same.